I think LGBTQ heroism is an everyday occurrence that happens at all levels. I think if you're a youth, it's really heroic to be yourself and keep yourself safe. We need you here. And I think as an LGBTQ adult, coming out in the workplace, being yourself in your community, fighting for what's right around the law and legislation, all of that matters. Everything we do matters there.
There's the superheroes of our past, such as Marsha P. Johnson and the drag queens that led the first revolution. I think that there are superheroes in community building like Kendall Clausen and Denise Spivak and Kara Desert and Tyler Tremere, who are all advocating in different community centers out doing outreach. And then I think there are superheroes in the public space like Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe, who are advocating to bring everyone in the world of women's sports up and rise together. I think there are superheroes like Alok and Andrea Gibson, who use storytelling and the written word to bring everyone up. So I have lots of superheroes out there.
My queer and trans superheroes, definitely Ani DeFranco was huge to me when I was growing up. I'll never forget, I was in the 9th grade and someone gave me a cassette tape of Ani DeFranco's songs, and I feel like it saved my life because, again, I grew up in the South, knew I was queer from the age of 7, and so, again, I was so isolated, and then I heard these songs by this singer, and I heard, songs like In or Out, these specific songs that were talking about, her experience, and it just made it okay. It made me be able to accept myself and accept, okay, yeah, she's queer and so am I. I am too. So absolutely, Ani DeFranco, her music really made me feel safe. Not just safe, but it made me feel like, yeah, being queer is badass. I'd see pictures of her with her shaved head and, her style, and it made me feel not just safe, but like, oh, being queer is special, being queer is cool. So Ani DeFranco, Brandi Carlile, she's been so out, so visible. Melissa Etheridge.
I guess I'd have to say Patrick Haggerty, first and foremost. He is the godfather of queer country. If you don't know that album, check it out. I probably have to say Kimya Dawson. Her lyrics are queer forward, just an incredible artist, incredible singer. Trixie and Katya, I gotta have to say too, they're just hilarious, and their connection is very special, and seeing a special connection within queer people is very inspiring.
I have quite a few friends that I got to watch them transition, and I got to see them really change as people and come into what, at least from the outside, appears to be just a much more authentic version of themselves. And to see people grow this confidence and just become who they were always meant to be. I feel like those are my real heroes. Because I have friends that started transitioning a long time ago, and they were my first experience of, I don't know, they were my first experience for I didn't know anybody trans before, And I think that you have to be really brave to be your true self. And so I feel like that kind of gave me permission to be myself.
I was such a fantasy nerd and definitely drawing a lot of inspiration from queer iconography and in mythology, especially in Hindu mythology. There's so much beautiful representation, gender neutral and trans expression. And it's really, that was definitely my biggest inspiration, for sure. Yeah.
I think the heroes are everyday heroes. There's something about how queer and trans identity has been erased through history too. And so a lot of our heroes are modern day. We only have to go back 50, 60 years. We only have to go back to, Marsha P. Johnson to look at our queer heroes and our queer history. And a lot of queer and trans history has been erased. And so that's also sort of an aspect of respecting our elders and looking up to those who came before us, because we don't have ancient historical figures. I would say, I list everyday heroes. I list people who are my peers doing the work right now.
Darcel 15, I stand on her shoulders. Poison Waters, I stand on her shoulders. I mean, we all stand on RuPaul's shoulders, but these are my local queens and people that really inspired me to just be out and be proud and be larger than life.
I guess to say, I get to acknowledge a Portland icon, Miss LaWanda Kentucky Jackson, a beautiful, amazing trans drag artist, has done so many things and film and TV and is recognized in many different ways. And that was a queen that I met young into my kind of scene journey that poured into me and let me know that I could be a dancer, that I could be quiet, that I could be strong, that I didn't have to fit any certain thing. And she would always tell me to not do less, but be mindful of what my output was. So like, you're giving them too much. You're giving too much. Keep something for yourself. Like, make them want more. And she is a survivor. She's battled life, and it's just really cool how she pours into everybody. She's a pageant coach. So similar in heart, and just seeing someone that doesn't lay down easy and is kind to every person before you give them a reason not to be. And I admire that in people.
You're my idol. You're my queer idol.
Don't make me cry here on camera.